I wanted to spend a few minutes with you guys because it's summertime, right? And everybody's out running around going crazy, and we're wrapping up our vacations, and we're doing all kinds of things. But I wanted to spend a few minutes to let you know that there's actually a lot of stuff that's going on inside of our church right now. I've shared some of this with you before. Leah mentioned some of it. You see some of the stuff in the announcements. But literally what I'm feeling is going on right now within this church, within this organization, with the board and everything else, and we're meeting and we're talking, we've got all this stuff going on. In my mind, what it feels like and what I want to share with you is it's kind of like we're recreating this place. It's kind of like Unity 2.0. And so I want to talk to you about, in my mind, what that feels like in terms of Unity 2.0. The biggest thing is this, is number one, we're not doing it alone. We're doing it together. But this Unity 2.0 is going to be something that we are going to create together, and I'm going to tell you, it's my vision has always been that this should be a beacon in the community. It should be something a place where people can go, where we can be a family, where we can support each other, where we've got transformational things here that change lives. When you look at what the Fillmores did, they changed lives. There was healing. There was community. There was outreach. They did all this stuff. And that's kind of the stuff that we're creating here. That's what we're in the process of doing. So I know we come here sometimes on Sunday and there's not a lot of people here. It's summertime. I get it. But I want you guys to know that we are doing a lot of things to change that. And not only are we doing it, we're going to. Because what I know is where two or more are gathered, that's where I'll be. Because that's the message that Jesus said, right? So what are some of those things? Leah mentioned this, we're doing a rebranding thing. I think Unity is absolutely horrible at getting the word out and saying what it is that we do. I can't tell you how many people I've had come up to me and say, well, I know, Unity, but when I'm talking to people, what do I tell them? Well, I'm creating an elevator pitch. I'm doing it. So you guys will have 2 sentences that you can say what it is that we do. To me, what it is we reconnect people. I'm going to make this, so don't exactly take these words because I'm working on it. But we reconnect people. Who do we reconnect people with? Themselves, first of all. We reconnect you to yourself because so many people are disconnected from that thing inside of themselves. We reconnect you to your divinity. This thing out there, whatever you want to call it. A lot of words for it, right? I don't get caught up on the words. You want to call it God, you want to call it whatever you want to call it, Buddha, whatever, Jesus, all that stuff. We reconnect you to your divinity, to this thing, this amazing thing that we're all connected to, that we're all a part of. And then guess what? We reconnect you to each other. With each other. We do this together as a family and as a community. Our new website, we've talked about that enough. We've talked about the camera. Guess what that camera is going to let us do? Not only videotape these services, so how many people know that you can now go watch these services on our YouTube channel? How many people know that? Yeah, I've got like 3 people raising their hand. So I know it's not easy to get to yet, but through the website in a couple of weeks, you're going to be able to click on a button that's going to take you right to these things, and you're going to be able to do something, so you'll be able to see them. But right now, you can go watch the last 4, 5, 6 services that were recorded with that camera. I mentioned that. Guess what the next thing to do is? Live streaming. So within a couple of weeks, we're going to start live streaming. That's what we're going to start doing. Again, what do we need to do? We need to get the word out. We need to get people in here to see this message. So that's what we're going to be doing. The music program, I've mentioned this a handful of times over the last couple of weeks. We are right now, after the service, I'm sitting down with Jim and we're going to start playing with some different music and some different ways that we can do music. And it doesn't mean anything's right, wrong, good or bad. It just means to bring some life. I love praise and worship music. I love it. And so we're going to bring that into the community and we're going to start playing with that and doing that as well. We're going to bring in some new programs. Leah mentioned to this. We want a spiritual center. We want a place that has programs, different programs for different people. Why? Because we don't all process this thing called life, this thing called our divinity. We don't all do it the same way. There's different ways to do it. So why not offer a lot of different ways that people can remember and reconnect with themselves and God in the community? Why not offer those things? We do some now, but we're going to be doing more and getting the word out. This one is really super exciting. How many know about the book called The Power of Eight? Anybody here know about that book? Lynn does. One person. So this is absolutely phenomenal. I forget the author's name. Do you know what the author's name is, Lynn? She's a researcher. And she started coming up and started experimenting, like literally doing massive experiments on this thing called the Power of Eight. And when you bring a small group together and do some very specific things, which we don't do right now, but if you do these, the results are undeniable. They did things from healing plants to changing the dynamics of water to healing communities by doing this one thing. I go back to the Fillmores. This is what excites me. The Fillmores, what did they do? They transformed people's lives. People came into Unity, and guess what they did? They healed. That's why people flocked to Unity, because they changed and they transformed their lives. And one of the most powerful things they did that through was through prayer. It's called Silent Unity. Anybody ever use Silent Unity? Yeah, of course you have. Most people have. Not everybody. For those of you that don't know, Unity, the motherland, has this amazing thing called Silent Unity. It's a toll-free number. You pick up the phone and you say, hey, this is what's going on in my life. And they've got an organization that prays 24/7 and has been doing it for the last 80 years. And that's what they do. And they'll spend a few minutes on the phone with you and they'll send you some pretty cool stuff. That's awesome. But guess what? My belief is that if we can create little tiny groups of 8, and when you guys see and read about and learn about what happens when you create this Power of 8, it's mind-blowing. And we are going to do that. Because we as a community can help each other, we can support each other, and we can heal each other. And this is one of the ways that we're going to do it. And so what does this mean for you? Especially those that have been here for a long time, or maybe not. Maybe it's the first time you walked in the door. Right? Let us know how we can serve you more. The only way that we're going to get better as a community is to serve you better. And again, I don't care if you've been coming here for 25 years or you just walked in the door for the first time. We need to know what it is that you want, what it is that you need. What else about you? Well, we're asking to consider. There's a lot of people out there that do this already, and for those that do, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, and so does the board. You contribute your time. You contribute your talents. You contribute your treasures. Thank you. But maybe there's something in there that you're not doing. Maybe there's a gift or a talent or something within you that would really, really be happy to share. Because to me, we all have a spark of this divinity within us. We all have our unique gifts and talents. And you know what? Without that expression, we're not whole. And so it could be something so simple, and you just want to be able to share that, and we would love to hear from you. We would love to hear from you. What else can you do? Live the message. Here's the thing, guys and gals. Once you start living this message, once you start to have this transformation, it's just live it. The biggest way that you can impact this world isn't by doing this. It's just by being who and what you are. Just show up. And let people see what you're up to. That changes lives. That changes life. Just be who and what you are, fully connected to your divinity, fully connected to God or source, fully connected to your community, and watch how that changes lives. Watch. What else? Share this message. I'm going to ask over and over and over again. We as a community are not very good at this, myself included. Guilty as charged. But you know what? This is a beautiful message. Unity has a very beautiful message. We're wide open. And all we're doing is reminding people about who and what they are, who and what this thing called God or source is, and then connect that and then share it. This world needs this message. This place should be so packed right now, you shouldn't be able to walk in the door. I've always believed that, always. And yet, it's not. And in my opinion, the way that we do that is to let people know the impact it's having on our lives. And so we're asking you to consider sharing it with a friend, a family member, people at work, whatever. How can you share the message? If we do these things, I'm telling you, we will change not only this church, and there's nothing wrong with this church as it sits, by the way. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. All I'm saying is we can make a bigger impact How many people here want to make a difference and an impact in this world? Show of hands. Yeah, everybody's hand is up. Everybody's hand is up, and so is mine, by the way. And the way that we do that is by sharing this amazing message that the Fillmores came up with, which really, the truth is, it's not just the Fillmores. I don't know if you guys have realized it or not, but I pay attention to a lot of things that are going on in this world. And not only that, I feel like divine intelligence, what's happening is, it's speaking to each and every single one of us, but it's not just speaking to us, it's speaking to people across the world. And while there may be different language, there may be a different way it's being said, it may be a different way that it's being expressed, in my opinion, what's happening is all of us are being ignited, are being woken up, and we're trying to come together. It's not just us. There's a lot of people in this world that I would say that are trying to pull this thing together, and it's going to take a minute for that to happen. But just imagine being a part of something that's part of waking up humanity and joining with other people that are wanting to do the same thing. That's awesome. That genuinely excites Mike, and I really hope it excites you as well, because that's what we're up to. That's what we're up to. So, having said that, we need help with just a couple of things. The youth program, if that's something that touches your heart and you think you might want to do that, then great. And again, a lot of people give here, and if you're giving, then thank you. If this is something that you might be interested, please come see us, because we do need some help. We've got Maureen, God bless her. She's in our nursery and been doing that every single week. She shows up, and we need some help with our youth program. If that's something that touches your heart, talk to us. Your financial contributions, again, for those of you that give, thank you, thank you, thank you. We can't run this church without you. But it's like the church does one of these deals, and we just need some more consistency so we can do more and we can be more. And again, if you're already giving, thank you. And if it's something that's touching your heart, then thank you for doing and considering that as well. And then, by the way, there's a lot more things than just that, but I'm just sharing the last thing is social media. To me, that's getting the word out. I am not a great social media person, and we are exploring with it and playing with it. If you've got any thoughts or ideas on social media, maybe that's your thing, then that would be great to hear from you. Okay. Thank you for letting me spend a few minutes on that. And now I want to talk about